Okay, we're live. What's up, everybody? This is Nick Atkin on South China Morning Post, SCMP MMA over in Hong Kong. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just waiting for my co-host Chris. Where are you, Chris? We're gonna break down UFC Fight Island 7. We're gonna do all the picks, all the predictions for every fight. Can't wait because today we're gonna be doing it a little bit differently. Got a nice surprise in store. We're teaming up with the boys over at the Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. They're also here in Hong Kong. Great guys. We're going to be using their app to make our picks live on air here. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait to show you guys. But first, get yourselves over to the App Store, download Fanatics Fantasy MMA app, and then looking at the description down there, you can see the URL for our group on the SCMP MMA Fantasy MMA Picks app. Join our group. You can compete against us, make your picks. Here is Chris. He's come to save the day. What's up, Chris? How are you doing? I missed you
Hey
there.
guys, I'm so sorry I'm late. I downloaded I bought a new laptop today and was trying to get it to work, and it turns out we can't use the streaming application on Safari. So I had to quickly download Chrome and input all my data. Sorry about that.
Just glad you're here because I don't know how much longer I could have done it on my own. I was running out of material. It's going to start
No, it's
repeating myself.
okay. A hard 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's not much for you, mate.
Well, I managed to get, I think, all of the plugs in immediately. So, as I said before, Fantasy MMA app, the new app, is called Fanatics here in Hong Kong. We're joining up with them at SCMP. We're going to be using their software to make our picks live on air. It's going to be so fun, isn't it, Chris? I hope you're ready to make your picks. Why don't we just dive straight into it? I'm going to bring up this fun little browser they've made for me.
Yeah, the
So here we
app's
go.
fantastic. The input's really nice. It works really quick. I've got a really, really old iPhone 6 or something. I've had no problems with lag. The download was pretty fast. And it's just really smooth and well designed.
Yeah, the guys behind it, they're very, very good at what they do. Very, very good, let me tell you. And as Chris says, very smooth. But I'm going to pick this card here, UFC Fight Night, Holloway v. Kattar. You go on the app, guys. You can see all of these events, all of these cards way in advance. But we're going to start with this one, of course, this weekend. UFC Fight Night. It's Fight Island 7 in Abu Dhabi. Holloway v. Kattar. We'll just start from the top, I guess, Chris. Why not? Max Holloway against Calvin Kattar. Now, before we make our picks, let's talk a little bit about this fight, because you can see our little names down there on the screen. They're going to go left and right, whoever we pick. But talk us through it, Chris. Who have you got and why?
See, this is a really, really, really hard fight to choose between. They're both so skillful, and the thing is, that you look at the records are very similar. And you look at the last five, and it makes you think, "Wow, Holloway's lost three of his last four." But then when you think one of them was up against Diamond Dustin Poirier going up for an interim title, which he lost, and he went the whole 5 rounds, and it was a fairly close fight, but he lost that. And then he had those two very, very tough fights with Volkanovski, where I know people who thinks he won the first one. Some people think he won the second one. I know some people who think he won both. So it does show you how close those two fights were and at what a high level he operates. And particularly when you look at, I think 2014, was it 2013, when he fought Conor McGregor. After that loss, if you look at the run that Max Holloway went on, it is phenomenal. He cleared out the division 100%, was 100% the best featherweight fighter on planet Earth. And that's the one thing. I mean, you look at everyone ranked in the top 10 right now of this division. Yair Rodriguez is the youngest at 28. The second youngest is Max Holloway. And no one else in the top 10, I think, has as many fights as him, apart from Jose Aldo, which is an absolute madness that he's still only 29 and just managed to put in so much work. And for that one reason, I'm going to go with my boy Max Holloway, the nicest guy in the UFC. I am yet to meet someone who does not like Max Holloway. Americans love him, Canadians love him, Brazilians love him. I don't know anyone who has a bad word to say about him. And he's just one of the real nice guys of the sport. And I just hope he can get it done. If I had to pick method of victory, I'm going to go by knockout. It is a 5 round.
Yeah, so on the Fanatics app, you can pick method of victory as well, but only for the main event at the moment. The guys are testing out a new feature. They're going to see if it's a popular feature and whether people want to go with this. But otherwise, all the other fights on the card, you just pick the winner. But go on, Chris, make your selection, get the app out, pick your winner, and pick your method of victory. And on Sunday, we're going to come back and see.
They've got the picture of Conor McGregor when you get it on.
Yeah, very smooth. I want to make my pick. Here we go. I'm just going. I'm playing it safe. I'm going for Bless, the former featherweight champ. I'm going Max Holloway as well. So two of us, you can see us on the side. I'm going to go for a sub because Max said in an interview with Andrew Whitelaw, our very own Andrew Whitelaw from SCMP MMA, that he would like to mix it up a little bit and get a sub. He's not had a submission victory in a long, long time. So why not? What Bless says, Bless means. I'm going to go with Max. Calvin Kattar, excellent fighter, but I think I'm going with the champ.
We might have Mystic Mac. This week we're getting Mystic Max then, are we, with the pulling out the sub?
That's it. Exactly that. I think last time Holloway was on a 2-fight losing skid was, I think, 2013, and then he went on a rampage winning 13 fights in a row before that Poirier loss. So I don't see Max lying down. He's going to sort this skid out and maybe throw himself back in for title contention. What do you think, Chris? If Max Holloway wins this, how far away is he from maybe getting that trilogy? I think we've talked about it before. Does the UFC wait unless and see if Ortega beats Volkanovski? Because that's a little easier to make that fight then.
Yeah, it's really easy to make it. If Ortega beats Volkanovski, 100% he's going to fight Holloway because Holloway is such a favorite. I mean, him and Volkanovski do deserve a trilogy, and that is one good thing that if either of them ever lose the belt, they've always got that trilogy waiting. A similar thing we've got with McGregor and Diaz, that the trilogy is always there. We've kind of actually got it over in one championship a bit with Eddie and Shinya, that if any of them goes on a skid, we can do the trilogy fight. Yeah, I honestly think that the two best 145-pounders in the world are quite clearly Volkanovski and Max Holloway. I think they're 1 and 2. I think it goes back and forward between those two. I actually had the second fight for Holloway. I had the first one for Volkanovski. But yeah, and I think Volkanovski is going to beat Ortega very, very easily. I think he's actually learned a lot from watching what Holloway did to him. And I think Volkanovski's probably a little bit more dangerous on his feet, probably less complete than Holloway, but a bit more dangerous on his feet. And unless Ortega can really dominate the range and dominate the distance, it's going to be really tough. So, yeah, but either way, the future's bright for Max, considering he's been around for so long.
All right. Well, we don't know when that fight is going to be, Volkanovski and Ortega. Volkanovski said he's ready for March, and he wants 3 fights this year. We'll see how it plays out. Let's get back to this card. We're going to get down to the co-main event here. I'm going to whip out my Fanatics Fantasy MMA web browser. They've made me a special little web browser to use on here. Carlos Condit and Matt Brown co-main event. Let's make our picks, Chris. I'm going to throw it to you first. Who should people pick and why?
Well, has anyone got their tabs out? Has everyone got the towels and the clothes they need to put in the washing machine? Because you might as well be watching the washing machine when you watch this one. 2 legends of the game, but may I say, they are slightly washed. They were a little bit past their best. I mean, Matt Brown has 3 wins in the last 5 years. One of them is against the Diego Sanchez that some people would himself say that he is washed. Carlos Condit has 1 win in the last 5 years, which really does show you what a fall from grace he's had. Still a great fighter, still technically great, but just not very much. They're both outside that top echelon nowadays, and they are both very, very clearly in decline. The thing that makes this fight so exciting is it's actually a sweepstakes. You know how there used to be the Conor McGregor sweepstakes? If you can win a few fights, you might get Conor and get a big payday. Well, you won't get a big payday, but the winner of this match, or even the loser, we don't know, could get another legend fight. Because who have we seen who's calling out to fight another legend on Twitter in his final fight? Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez, he's got the loss against Matt Brown. He's never fought Carlos Condit. The winner can get Diego Sanchez, and I think it would be a great retirement fight for both of them, the same weight class. For me in this, it's Matt Brown is all the way the winner. despite him fighting slightly lower opposition, he has got 3 wins in the last 5 years. He's been on a fairly decent run of win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Carlos Condit coming back with the Court McGee win. But personally, I'm just favouring Matt Brown. These are absolutely 2 legends of the game. I mean, they have over 50 wins between them, and I think over 40 losses. So it does really say it all.
All right, time to make our official picks on the app. Yeah, you go first. So we can't do method of victory. We're just picking the winner in this co-main event. You've gone for Matt Brown. Okay, I'm going to be
21% of people have chosen Matt Brown.
Okay, I'm going to be a little controversial here. I'm going for Carlos Condit.
Oh wow!
I'm going against you.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from him the last time out. He looked like he was the natural reborn killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's back. I like this fight as well. As you said, 2 veterans going at it. I'm going with Condit just to mix it up a little bit. I don't want it to look like I'm just piggybacking on your knowledge, Chris, and stealing all your picks. And I would like us to go head to head here properly. So
of course, and the way this fight can go is the winner or the loser could end up fighting Diego Sanchez. I mean, if Carlos Condit was to win, there is a chance you could get one more fight against Robbie Lawler, which would be absolutely fantastic. Could have seen it a few years ago. It probably would have been slightly better, but it is nice, and it would be nice to kind of, I don't want to say for them to retire, but it would be nice for some of them to wind down, and it's nice to actually see them getting the respect of the UFC and fighting people their own age, people who are past the peak, and not these young, hungry lions coming through, because sometimes that's when it can get a little bit sad in the sport.
You said it perfectly, Chris. All right, I'm going to move on down this card here. Let me bring up my browser again. I hope you got your picks ready, but talk us through it first. It's our boy, the Leech, Jingliang. Yeah. He's back in action against Santiago Ponzinibio. Very important welterweight bout, this, Chris, isn't it? I think in terms of getting into those rankings, it's huge for both guys.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And to tell you the truth, I think on the main card, this is probably going to be the most exciting fight. I mean, you look at Santiago Ponzinibio, I think you have to go back 4 or 5 years ago. He lost to Lorenz Larkin. After that, he's beat Court McGee, Zach Cummins, Gunnar Nelson, beat Mike Perry a few years ago, Neil Magny, and then obviously he's been out with an injury for the last 2-3 years because he was supposed to fight, was it Robbie Lawler down in Chile on one of the cards, and that got called off. So it's just great to see Ponzinibio back. Li Jingliang, absolute legend, one of the best out there from Tacheng, all the way up in Xinjiang, I believe, in the northeast of China. Had that last loss against Neil Magny, which was actually a very, very wide decision, in my opinion. They fought some of the same guys. As much as I love the Leech, I just have to favour Santiago Ponzinibio. I think he's not the physically bit, he's the thicker. He's very much thicker. He's wider. He's got absolutely great kickboxing. I think he's really good at reading range. Sometimes Lee, when he does get hit, loses his head a little bit, while Santiago Ponzinibio has been around so long that he just has kind of got a little bit more nous. If he does get hit hard, he knows what to do and where to put himself. So I would just favour Santiago in this fight. But I think it's so close to call. And I won't be surprised if we actually see a bonus in this fight. This is definitely one to wake up early for.
Okay, make your pick official, Chris. Press your button on your app.
And there we go.
There you go. There we go. Again, I'm gonna, just to be controversial. No, I'm going against the grain here, Chris. I kind of agree with you, but you know, my head says Santiago, my heart says the Leech. I'm picking the Leech.
Oh,
let's see what happens. By the way, we'll be doing a full recap of the show on Sunday, and we'll be showing you our league table in the SCMP MMA group on the Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. Please check the description for the link. Go there, hit the app store, download the app, click that link there and you can join our SCMP MMA group. You can compete against us, make all your picks. We can have a bit of banter in the chat group. We can see who ends 2021 with the most points. It's a really fun app. We'll take a slight break from the predictions just because we've got Paguru in the comments here is very keen to find out what we think the McGregor Poirier pay-per-view buy rate prediction will be, Chris. Paguru has asked this question not once, not twice, but 7 times in a row. So
wow. Well,
let's give our let's give
Thank
our
you very much
prediction.
for being a big fan of the podcast, always commenting. I love it to see it. I love to see it. The buy rate, this is so hard. This is going out. Is it going out prime time in America?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, Chris, because I know that the Holloway fight card, the prelims start 1 a.m. in Hong Kong, and then McGregor card is a nice early morning time for us. So I guess that is prime
7
time.
a.m.
Yeah.
But I heard the main card starts at 11 for us, which is putting it towards midnight in America. So it might be hard to get a really big one with such a late time, you know. But the only thing is we might have that boost from the pandemic. We haven't seen a Conor McGregor number in the pandemic. Large swathes of the UK, Ireland, most of Europe and America. There's not going to be young people aren't going to bars or nightclubs or anything like this, are they? Because obviously the lockdowns and social distancing that's in place. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see over a million. How much we see over a million, that's anyone's guess, and that's too hard. You'd really have to see, particularly, it's probably better to get a better guesstimation of the pay-per-view buy rates going into a fight week. And it'll be hard this time because we've got a weekend card, a midweek card. This weekend's card will be on ABC in America, free to air for everyone on terrestrial or over a traditional platform, which makes it quite interesting. And I think we'll have to really track the YouTube numbers and see what's going on Twitter to really see, because Conor might have lost a little bit of shine, but he is probably still the main star in the UFC, particularly for the North American audience.
Yeah, I think Conor usually pops a million. I'd be very surprised if he didn't this time. I'm not sure it'll reach Khabib Conor levels of 2.4 million. I think the UFC will do very well out of it. Philip Collins saying, this is great. Loving the analysis on the card. Thank you very much, Phil. I guess we're going to get back to the card, Chris. Let's go. Who we got here? Okay, I'm going to scroll down this card here. Now we're going into the 4th fight down. We got Joaquin Buckley against Alessio the Chirico. Middleweight bout. Buckley obviously coming off that highlight reel knockout, and then he got another one that wasn't too shabby. He's on a real roll, isn't he, Chris?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Joaquin Buckley with the Kanye West song, with everything that's going on, all of the eyes on him, the knockout of the year by far, not just in the UFC, probably the best knockout in all of combat sports, in my opinion. He's been on a really run. He's got that one loss to Kevin Holland, but apart from that, top fighter in the UFC. Alessio de Chirico, really good fighter, solid, nickname Manzo out of Rome. But problem is, you go through his record, and I think he's 3-4 in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Kevin Holland, and most recently he lost to Zach Cummins. I think it's going to be a really tough night at the office. He's a really good striker. Buckley's got pretty solid wrestling and ground game. We've shown how good his striking is, his taekwondo skills are with the kick he did use. And as well, what a lot of people are forgetting is with that kick that Buckley did, a lot of people keep going on and on about it and how good it was. People also have to realize going into that fight as well, me, you, John, everyone on the podcast, and a lot of people who do watch Contender Series, who do watch regional MMA, who do watch some of the smaller shows, where a lot of people were very hot on Impa. Impa Kasangnasai was like one of the hot properties, really going into the tail end of the year. And for Buckley to do what he did really derailed him. And that's the reason I'm going to do my pick. I agree with 92% of the people on the app. And I'm going to big up my man, Joaquin Buckley.
Okay, I know I've tried to go against the grain here and be controversial and go opposite what you've picked, but I just cannot pick against Joaquin Buckley. I'm going with New Mansa as well. It's a clean
Is that the
sweep from us.
problem with this fight? That one's nickname is Mansa and the other one is Manzo. I think one of them, the loser, has to drop their nickname and come up with something new.
I'm down for that gimmick. UFC, make it happen. Dana White. I know you're watching, Dana. You watch every show. Yeah, okay, we both agree on that one. Let's move down the card again. I'm gonna just take this down. We got Punahele Soriano against Dusko Todorovic. This is a really interesting bout for me, Chris. Look at these guys. They're both undefeated, both on absolute tears. This is really, really interesting stuff. Who you got? I'm gonna just let you pick, and then I'll make my pick again. I need your knowledge, Chris. Enlighten me.
Yeah, this is really, really hard. Sekito coming out with Chudova coming out with the Sekito gym in Belgrade, I believe it is, somewhere in Serbia. I think it's Belgrade, the capital. He is an absolute beast. Both of them are a beast. 7-0, 10-0. As they say, that O has got to go. Chudovic does have one win in the UFC. His fight in the Contender Series back in 2019 was the best fight on that Contender Series card. I think it got some nominations for the end of Contender Season awards, whatever they do mean. Obviously, to come through the Contender Series, get your win. Being based in Serbia and the outbreaks they've had have made it hard for him to travel in the previous year to really build on his rise. For me, Todorovic, is I think he's just got to be the favorite. And as well, he is from one of those regions, those Slavic regions, the Balkans, Central Europe, the Czech Republic, Poland, where they really, really have fallen in love with MMA over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And they are just producing top fighters. And the one thing you do realize is, it's particularly at middleweight and light heavyweight, you're getting some really, really class fighters coming out of this area. And not to disrespect Ponale Soriano, he is a beast. He's been really, really good, 28 years of age. I think he's training out of Las Vegas Extreme Couture. He as well, I think he came against Jamie Pickett, English guy, about 2 years ago in the Contender Series, who's also signed with the UFC. So it does show he was against a decent amount of a certain level of opposition when he did go into the Contender Series. But I've just got to go to Todorovic because these guys coming out of Eastern Europe, out of the Balkans, are an absolute beast.
All right, make your pick using the app. Show everyone how it's done.
It's done just like this. You go. You choose your favorite fighter. Bang.
There he is.
Oh, and I am joining
it too many times.
I'm joining the 67% of all Fanatics users that have gone for this pick, and I'm quietly confident. And yeah, this is going to be a tight fight. Todorovic, I think, is just going to do it. Points or a third round submission after maybe some ground and pound or a knockdown.
All right, I'm going to be controversial again, Chris. I'm going for Puna. That's it. We're split again. This is going to be interesting on Sunday. I might be eating my hat. I might be eating crow, whatever the puns, the synonyms are, the plays on words. Or Chris, you may be having some humble pie. We'll see who wins, baby. It's going to be fun.
Never know. I just want to say out there to Tristan and Andrew Carnage in the comments, having a bit of a conversation about the app. This is the Fanatics Fantasy MMA app. It is free to download. You can follow all of us guys on there. You can see our picks. You can see my picks, Nick's picks. I think we're going to try and get everyone who's on the podcast to put some picks on. I think John might be there. Maybe Leon from Asian Persuasion. Maybe a little bit of Andrew Whitelaw, the most handsome David Beckham lookalike in Kuala Lumpur. We might have the Queen of the Sims, Jasmine Blaze, out in Georgia. We could have a big mix of people. So fingers crossed, but hopefully download it. You can really see our records because, you know, when I come on the their post-fight podcast straight after the fights. Sometimes I say I've won stuff that I predicted the wrong way. Now you all get the chance to call me out. You all get to look at my record, and you can all call me out on where I'm wrong and where I'm not. And maybe I favour a lot of the British fighters. Who knows?
Yep, as Chris said, and as Andrew pointed out, it's Fanatics Fantasy MMA. I put it in caps just to give it a bit of pizzazz, but it's not actually all in caps on the App Store. You don't have to mash down that caps button. You can just type it in normally. As I said at the beginning, if anyone's just joining us now, these guys, they're based in Hong Kong. They're some friends I know, and they have made this really fun app. It's got so much potential, and I think it can really kick off. We're just joining up with them, it looks like, and we're going to use this app to pick our fight, to make our picks for the fights all through 2021. We want you to join us in our SCMP MMA group on Fanatics. So see that link down there, and I think it's on their ticker as well. Should be in the description on the video. You click that. Once you've downloaded the app, that will take you straight to our SCMP MMA group. You sign up, you're in there already, and then we can compete against each other. We got a chat group in there. We can all mock Chris when he gets all of his picks wrong. Yeah, so please join us, guys. We'd love to do that. Let's get back to the card then, Chris. Why not? Oh God, yeah. I've made. Here you go, Chris. I'm leave your face on screen because I can't be bothered to change it. Philip Hawes against Nasruddin Imavov, middleweight bout. God, again, this one is tough to pick, isn't it? Both guys on complete tears.
Yeah, this is so hard to call. Imavov has been on a tear. Great win against Jordan Williams. They've both got a few losses earlier on in the career, but they've since both grown from them. I think the one thing that makes it so interesting is just Phil Hawes, because he went into Contender Series 3 or 4 years ago. Before that, he was in the Ultimate Fighter. He left that. He lost in the Contender Series. He lost in the Ultimate Fighter. He went on to Bellator. He won a fight. He got offered a longer contract in Bellator. He said he wanted to fight in the UFC. He went to Brave, which is the same organization which Khamzat Chimaev came through. I think they're Finnish or Swedish based, but they have a lot of great fighters from Eastern Europe, from the Caucasus, from Chechnya. He was with them fighting in, I think, Hyderabad, India. I think he was over there fighting in Slovenia as well, fighting some really tough opposition. And then he got another chance to go into the Contender Series after that. He got a really strong win with ground and pound. He got an 18-second win on the UFC 254 card. And I think this is going to be an absolute tear-up. It's so hard to call it between these two. They have such big futures in the sport. I think it could go either way. The only thing that is really tearing for me is I respect Phil Hawes' coaches, Sanford MMA. He is training with some of the best, Steel Sharp and Steel and all that. And at 31, he really needs to, if he really wants to make a good push in the UFC in this division, he really needs to get on with it now and rack up a few wins, and we can really see what he's made of. But I can't sleep on either of them. I think it's so hard because, and this is what we are starting to see. And I've been saying it, there's some great guys in Britain and France, all over Europe who are very similar to Chimaev. There's a lot of Chechens, Kazans, Dagestanis from all over Russia who have moved to different parts of Europe in search of a better life at age 14, 15, 16. And now you're seeing them come through the European MMA system, and they're adding great European style striking, Dutch striking, British boxing, etc. French savant in the case of Imavov, and we are really seeing them actually elevate what Europe has with a great wrestling base. These guys are not another Artem Lobov, I will tell you that much. So I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go Phil Hawes. I think this is the 50-50 of the night, and this is the second fight I would choose for a fight of the night bonus.
Right. God, I can't pick this one. It's like identical records. I'm gonna go with you, Chris. I'm going with Philip Hawes. But look,
Philip Hawes is the bookies' favorite to anyone out there. So if you are a betting man, if you can get good odds on Imavov, because I do really think this is a toss up. This is a 50-50. It's going to be so close, so tight.
Yeah, we could have egg on our faces, couldn't we, Chris? We're going to do it for One Championship as well. This Fanatics app also supports One Championship and Bellator, and even one-off special combat sports events. I guess that means those things like Roy Jones Jr. against Mike Tyson. So if Jake Paul fights against Ben Askren, Chris, I'm sure it's going to be on Fanatics Fantasy MMA app, and we can all get involved with that. Tristan also asking, does Onglar trains with Hawes? Yeah, over at Sanford MMA. That's what's great about this app as well. Look, you got all that info there to inform your fight picks. You can see who he trains with. Sanford
Vitor
MMA.
Belfort, the Burns brothers are both there. Michael Chandler, Jason Jackson. The list really goes on. Rumble Johnson, I think, is still down there. Robbie Lawler, Nick Lentz. There's a great amount of talent. Martin, weighing up from the former one championship featherweight belt holder. A lot of great talent at Sanford. That's the only thing that pushed me towards Phil Hawes.
Indeed, and we love the guys at Sanford. Obviously, nothing against Nessadine, but Sanford is close to our hearts here, given our love for Onglan Sang, who often jumps in on the fight companions for the One Champion shows. So we're going to back Onglar's boy Philip Hawes. One Championship UK in the comments here. What's up? Nice to see you again. This is going to be fun. Yeah, it is. I can't wait to compete against you guys in the Apple. This is what the fun is. It's like we get to give each other a bit of banter as well in that chat group. So don't be afraid to fire off a message to one of us. Anyway, let's keep rolling down the card, Chris.
Yeah. This is an interesting women's fight. I'm so excited for it. I love Mulan herself, Wu Yanan, one of the greatest Chinese prospects out there, coming off a tough loss to Mizuki Inoue in a previous outing. Originally, this fight was supposed to be against Pech Kohara.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and unfortunately had to pull out. They've picked up Jocelyn Edwards, who I think I know she was fighting in LFA. She went 1-1 in the LFA. It's a very, very hard matchup. I mean, 5-1 is a very, very low record to be going into the UFC with. We are the South China Morning Post. I never said I'm a total neutral. I said I do have my biases. Being from Liverpool, I picked Darren Till when it comes to the number one ranking for every division in every organization. He's even my number one atom weight women in one championship is Darren Till. So for this one, I'm going to put the South China into SCMP MMA. I'm going to go for my girl, Wu Yanan.
Yeah, for me, Wu Yan, this is obviously more natural weight for her, isn't it, at bantamweight? And she struggled last time out with the weight cut. Didn't make weight against Mizuki Inoue. Mizuki just kind of picked her off. But nothing against Wu Yan. And I think she's got a big preview with us. We're going to be putting it up on SCMP MMA with our freelancer. Matthew Scott has got a nice interview with Wu Yan, and she explains all about the differences and the changes she's made, and how she's more ready than ever for this fight, and it's going to be different. Jocelyn Edwards, we do not have the picture of her there. This is another great thing. I can give the guys at Fanatics all your feedback. Anything in the app you see that doesn't look right or whatever, just let me know, and I can feed it straight to them, and we can make it sing even more. All right, I am going to also pick Wu Yanan, Chris. So we agree again once more. That's not often we've agreed today, is it, Chris? We've differed on a few.
It's not often. There's been a few tight ones. It's just I think there's a lot of tight fights, but there is a few where they're very one-sided, or we don't have too much information on the fighters. I mean, I've heard good things about Jocelyn Edwards, but when you've had what is it? She had 7 or 8 professional fights. When you are coming through South America, it's very, very hard to find a lot of footage from that South America, Central America region, particularly if they're fighting outside of Brazil.
All right. Tristan's pointed out the record for Edwards might be wrong. Okay, cool. I'll show it to Rob and the guys at Fanatics. Might go see them a bit later. They're not too far from where we live, Chris, but I can feed them all of this feedback. Thank you for pointing that out. We'll check that out. Not everything is going to be correct. They do have some hiccups along the way, but why don't we get back into it, Chris? Okay. Let me use this. Here we go. All right. 4th fight of the night. Carlos Felipe against Justin Tafa. Heavyweight bout. We always love the big boys, don't we, Chris?
Oh yeah, 100%. Justin Tafa, the bad man himself. 4-1, pretty solid. Obviously fighting over Australia, a big man. The one thing is, Carlos Felipe to me has always looked super, super interesting. I remember his first fight, which he actually lost on a decision to Sergey Spivak about a year ago now. I think it was February last year, one of those early cards before the pandemic really took hold. Carlos Felipe has always looked good. The one thing that divides these two guys, Felipe has a lot more experience. He's younger. He's a little bit faster and he's got really, really good hands. And the thing as well that stands out for me for Felipe when you look at him and Justin Tafa is they've got one mutual opponent, which is Jorgen de Castro, who I actually rate. I think fought in Rising, or I saw him over in Japan anyway a long time ago. He's been a solid fighter, about a .500 fighter in the UFC. Carlos Felipe did win his fight against him. Justin Tafa lost his, and it is purely on that. I do have to big up my man as well from Bahia State in Brazil, Carlos Felipe. So I'm going with Carlos Felipe for that.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone out there on the comments knows, though. I had Justin Tafa down in as an Australian in my notes, but it's come up on here that he's from Auckland, New Zealand. So,
yeah, someone fact check that for us. It may be another thing we can pass on to the guys at Fanatics.
but sometimes it's quite hard with these Australian, maybe Samoan, Tongan. You know, they can be born in one and move with their family where work is or whatnot. So. You know, that could be his actual hometown. His nationality could be different. So, yeah, and with that, I'm going with Carlos Felipe. I'm going to lock in my pick.
Make it official, Chris. All right. Yeah, I'm going to join you. Playing it safe. Going for Mystic Chris's pick here, Carlos Felipe. But again, another tight fight. This card is going to be great, Chris. I really like the look of it. First card of the year and a lot of tight fights, a lot of potential fight of the nights. This should be a really fun one early on or late on for us because we're starting at about 1 a.m. on the prelims. So I don't know when. This should be about 2:30 a.m. We'll see. H Boss, what's up? Good to see you back. It's commenting. Prizes on the app will be good too. Yes. So Fanatics are working on that. They're going to be putting some prizes together for like the global overall leaders and everything like that. I will work with Fanatics as well with SCMP MMA, and we're going to hopefully come up with some prizes for our league specifically at the end of each month, something like that. I can send out some swag, hopefully, get it to you wherever you are, because that just makes it even more fun. It's always more fun, Chris, isn't it, when you're competing for something, not just bragging rights.
100%.
Okay. We got
It'd be nice when some of these people call me out in the comments, I can go through the app and see what their record's like.
Yeah, okay. Gilby's got it for us here. So Justin Tafa is fighting out of Australia, but from New Zealand. Okay. Let's move on then, Chris. Let's go. Next pick. Are you ready? Okay. Sarah Moras, Vanessa Mello, bantamweight.
Such a hard one to call. Vanessa Mello, Miss Simpartar is her nickname. Really good. Babinho Gold Team, as it says on the screen. Sarah Moras goes by the nickname of Cheesecake. So neither of them having the greatest nickname in the game, but they can both fight. And you know what? There's something about this that just makes me really, really lean towards Sarah Moras. I think she's probably fought a higher caliber of opposition, despite her recent record. She's shown herself probably at a slightly higher level. She's been in the UFC all the way back since The Ultimate Fighter. She fought an Invicta before that. So a lot of her, even though she has a lot of losses on her record, a lot of them have been at the highest level. She's only lost an Invicta in the UFC. While Vanessa Mello has some losses in lower organizations. I hear her jiu-jitsu is very, very good. But I think on this, you just have to go with Sarah Moras because this is one of those things when you have someone who's coming into a new, bigger organization, you end up with something you get with, say, Macy Barber and Roxanne Modafferi, for example, you can just get someone who's been at that top level for not as long as Roxanne, but 100% you can just get this. I really, really don't know if these kind of fighters should be signed to the UFC. Maybe that's a conversation for another day. But they don't have the greatest records. I mean, these are the kind of records you might see on a one championship card when they can't find someone for Stamp or Panda or Tiffany Taylor to fight. So should be an interesting one.
Yeah, I really don't know who to pick. I see on the app as well, you also get more percentages of who's picking who and everything. So please check out the app. Don't just look at our thing here. Bring up the app while you're watching this, but you can see, like, I'll try and show it on screen, but maybe Chris can. You've got like percentages.
Yeah, well, you can get the percentages here. So this is probably not the best way to show it at all, guys, actually. But for example, Sarah Moras, 40% of people have picked her, 60% of people have gone for Vanessa Mello, but then at the bottom it has the consensus, and it does show that the bookies are all going for Moras, and the SCMP MMA, it's about 50-50 of the staff over at the SCMP have chosen between Moras and Mello. But then outside of that, over all the Fanatics users, it's very much tilting towards Mello. And that makes
I haven't even made my pick yet. All right, Sarah Moras.
Yeah, and then the great thing about the app is as well, you can click on the individual fighters as well, and you can actually see their previous records. So it's actually kind of like combining picks, topology with also your gambling data. I think it's a fantastic app. I think it's gonna change the game. When I look for statistics on fights now, I don't use ShareDog, I don't use Topology, I use this app.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. I wish I could show you a little bit better. Hopefully next week we might have some more fancy toys to play with on screen. But if you get in the app, yeah, as Chris said, you can see all the fighters' records. You can also see interviews with them and information, their story, everything like that, including SCMP MMA interviews, of course. Why the hell not? Please check out the app. But Chris, we got a few more fights to get to. Why don't we do that? Okay. David Zawada and Ramazan Imavov, middleweight. It's the second fight of the night. Again, very close, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, it is super, super close. It's so hard to call. I mean, the crazy thing is if we go further up the card, not to distract everyone, but I do believe that David Zawada has fought Carlos Condit. I believe he has fought Santiago Ponzinibio. I believe he has also fought Jingliang Li. So it is very, very interesting. I love it when you get these guys who fought other people within the cards. With this, it's so hard to call. I'm probably just tilted slightly more to Ramazan Imavov. He has proven himself a little bit more in the octagon, and he is a pretty solid wrestler. So I think I'm going to go with Ramazan this time.
Okay, I'm going against you again, Chris. Here, I'm going with Zawada. Let's make that official. I'm hanging left. You're going right. Tristan's also picking Zawada. I have to go with my fellow German. Exactly. Also, SCMP MMA did a really good interview with David Zawada. Exactly. Our guy, JHK. Great interview. Go check it out on our YouTube channel, SCMP MMA. That's another aspect of what we do, Chris. John has interviews with a lot of these guys on the undercards. That also hopefully helps you get to know the fighter a bit more, maybe get a sense for how they're going into the fight, might inform your pick, especially if you're putting money on it. Don't want to encourage any gambling, of course. But yes, please, we're hopefully going to be able to stick those interviews right into our channel as well. There's a couple in there already, I think, with Dan Hooker and Jojo Calderwood. So I'm going to get on to the guys at Fanatics to shove all the interviews in, the relevant ones for each fight week. Hopefully that can help you if you need to make a pick for your parlay. H Boss saying, yeah, I'm going to get it. You two have sold it well. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Can't wait for you to join us on there. Get in the chat group. Start telling us who you've picked. Make your selections. You're going to get notifications telling you if you haven't made your picks and it's coming up on fight night. So don't worry if you forget. The guys at Fanatics are going to tell you when to make your picks. It only takes less than a minute, Chris. It's so simple and easy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It took me about a minute to download it. really, really easy to set up. Unfortunately, I haven't set my picture yet. I was trying to find the one. But apart from that, yeah, and the app's been fantastic, actually. And as well, they had a bit of a trial at the end of last year. They've got some UFC, some stats on there. I think they're going to be adding Bellator soon. And from there, the sky really is the limit. It helps me. I've used it today. I used it in my research to look through the records, and it's been super helpful. And just to say to Tristan there, I don't know if you're based in Germany or where you're living. If there is someone out there and you do fancy a little gamble, I would actually say that guy Zawada is probably a good little pick just because he's got pretty high odds and he hasn't. And it's going to be a close fight. It is going to be a close fight.
Yeah, if you look back on the app, you can see Vegas is going with Ramazan. So, and 75% of users on Fanatics have picked Ramazan Imavov. So, Zawada could be where the money is. We like it, don't we, Chris, when there some good odds, like we saw with our guy Sasha Palatnikov, Hong Kong's first fighter in the UFC. He was plus 450 or something mad. All of us cashed in. A lot of people made a lot of money off Sasha. So maybe this could be another one. If you're looking for something where you might get some big money, that is the one. But again, I can't say I'm going to encourage any gambling, anything like that. No money in this app either. No gambling. It's all for bragging rights, all bit of fun, all for some prizes, hopefully, when the guys get that together. Yes, Robert Napolitano in the comments saying Zawada Imavov is 50-50 fight. Exactly. I think those odds, if you look at those odds, Chris, would tell you there's some value there, isn't there? Because it's a lot closer when you look at the other stuff. All right, Tristan telling you, Chris. Tristan's got the other 2.5, the over 2.5 prop bet. Yeah, this is the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I am not the biggest expert on odds and all that, so I won't pretend I am. But the first fight of the night, Jacob Kilburn, Austin Lingo. Jacob Kilburn, the killer, another one who JHK interviewed on our SCMP MMA channel. Go check out that interview. Featherweight fight, Chris. We got Austin Lingo is okay, you talk. I'm going to make my pick first, and I'm going to have a little look at the tail of the tape.
So hard is Jacob Kilburn only fought once in the UFC. Actually had a really good first round against Billy Q. Went on to lose the fight from a submission. Maybe the lights got to him. Maybe he was a little bit scared. Sometimes your debut in the UFC with the bright lights on you. I think before that he was just doing regional shows. I think he was fighting over in Hawaii, to tell you the truth. But he is just one of those fighters. He is very well rounded. You don't know how the fight really affected him. Then you've got Austin Lingo, who lost his last fight. I'm sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to check this one out, to Yusuf Salal on the Jones Reyes undercard. And then the thing is, Austin Lingo, when he came in, he had all of the big talk about him, about how he's really got a good chance to go far in the UFC. Because I think going into the UFC, of his 7 wins, I think 5 or 6 of them were in the LFA, which is pretty much the UFC's official feeder organization. He was a champion over there. I think he won the belt and defended it, or maybe he just won it and then signed over. It's going to be a really tight fight. The vast majority of the bookies are all going with Lingo. Looking on this absolutely great app, you could call it a super app. Chattery, don't sue me. And I would say most of the users are going for Lingo, and I would probably I'm going to go with Lingo, but you never know. The first night, the fight of the night, the amount of mistakes you get, it could go either way. I wouldn't count Jacob Kilburn out in this at all, but I'm just edging towards Lingo because, going through the LFA, having those bright lights on you, being a champion, and, anyone knows you win a belt or compete for a belt in the LFA, the time is going to come when you get to fight in the UFC or another major organization. I mean, you look at other people who've done well in the LFA, who've gone in the UFC and done fantastic. And then you can even look at people like Tan Lee, who was a champion over there and went over and won in one championship. So LFA are always producing great talent. So my pick, and I'm going to go with the other 76% of people, I'm going to be a sheep and join the crowd. I'm going with Austin Lingo.
Yeah, as Chris said, 76, overwhelming majority of users on Fanatics app are going for Austin Lingo. I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works. I'm crazy, Chris. I'm going for Killer Kilburn. There you go. Let's make it official.
I like it.
I just want to mix things up. Again, I think, the odds, you may get something there if you're into that. That could be another one. As Chris said, first fight of the night, the light's going to be bright. Remember, again, look back at our guy, Sasha Platnikov. Louis Kosey was strong favorite for that fight. First fight, a big pay-per-view card in Las Vegas. This is going to be the first event of the year. Fight Island. Lights are going to be shining. Let's see what happens there. I can't wait to see who is wrong and who is right, Chris. We will come back on Sunday with our results, obviously, and we'll see who got more points. There's a league table and everything in our group. Hopefully, I'll be able to show it to all of you next week.
I'm not even just looking forward to the results from this week. I'm just looking forward to, over the next couple of months, how the league table takes form, how everyone within the SCMP ranks against one another. And I want to know how you guys out there are doing. I want to know who out there secretly is a top picker. And yeah, I guess we might be doing monthly prizes or quarterly prizes. We'll probably have something at the end of the year. And you never know. Nick and John, those guys, if it wasn't COVID, they'd be flying all over the place meeting fighters. You never know. Could be getting a signed pair of gloves or something like that, couldn't you, Nick?
We will find some suitable swag to give out for the top dogs in the group leaderboard. You can share your picks as well on social media. Those fun things where people just get the image, Chris, of the whole card and they cross out one face. Mm-hmm. You can get something similar like that. Just quick button, you press share picks after you made all your picks. You can post it straight to your Twitter, your Facebook, wherever you like to do your social media thing. It's so easy. That's the main takeaway. It's very quick and easy. Fanatics, and look, they've got every single card as well, all lined up. You're not going to miss a single card with them. It's super easy, Chris. And yeah, I'm very excited to see which one of us comes out on top. But I will try and get as many of the SCMP MMA crew in there as well, so everyone can test their mettle against them. Again, guys, please go ahead.
We don't want to just see the SCMP MMA crew in there. We want to see H-Boss. We want to see Tristan. We want to see Robert. We want to see Puguru, One Championship UK, Andrew Carnegie. We really want all of our Henry Ford, all of our non-stop people who are listening to us, our big fans out there. We love it.
Haven't seen Sepulot for ages.
The more we can improve and tailor our shows to exactly what you want. And hopefully with this app, it won't just be the UFC. It will be Bellator. It will be One Championship. And there might be, some organizations or those really big rising events, or you never know, even the occasional KSW or Kunlun or whatever. If there's something big, I'm sure these guys will be covering it, because the guys behind the app, they're great guys, super smart, and they have just some of the nicest people, and they're so passionate about the sport, and as well, they're all geniuses when it comes to technology, and it's exactly what we need in this.
Yes, that's the main thing. Luke Lopez is here as well. Sup, Luke? Luke is another one of our favorites. Please, Luke, if you've missed it all, get down there, download Fanatics, the Fantasy MMA app. It's on the App Store. Then there's a link in the description. You can join the SCMP MMA group and you can compete against us. We can do all our picks together. It's hopefully the start of a really cool partnership with these guys. And hopefully we're going to take SCMP MMA to the next level. And hopefully we can help Fanatics Fantasy MMA go to the next level there. We can work together. It's perfect partnership. Hong Kong-based boys. Really nice guys, as Chris said. We might pop over and see them a bit later to give them some feedback. So if you do run into anything wrong in the app while using it, please just leave a message in there, or you can hit me up, or you can hit Chris up on Twitter, or you know all the handles.
Am I also correct about the app here, Nick? You can use the app to create your own leagues, can't you?
Yep, you can make your own league.
If you guys want to join the app, if you've got some friends out there and you're always arguing about who's better at predicting the fights, who gets more right, who gets more wrong, or you know what, if you go out for a few beers to watch the fights and you want to decide who pays for those beers, download the app, create your own little league, and every week, whoever whoever gets the best wins gets all their beers for free, or you can be really harsh and make the person who comes bottom pay for everyone else's beers. But there you go. There's some good ideas. A nice way to find out who splits the bill at the end of the night.
And look who we got. I tell you who is on Fanatics already. Wow. It's Mr. Dominic Lau. Here we go. The Voice of One Championship indeed, Chris. Great to see you, Dom. Dom is also good friends with the Fanatics guys, and he will tell you how good the app is. He's been using it for months. I'm new to it, but they have a lot of fun on there. And Dom, we're going to try and get you in our league, of course, as well. We want to, I heard you're pretty good, Dom. I've heard you know your stuff on there. You got you're pretty high up in the league table. Give us your secrets. I don't know, Chris. What do you think? Do you think you can take down Dom?
Oh, that's going to be a really, really hard one, a tough one. But you know what? I'm ready for absolutely anything. It's not after the first night. It's not after 4 cards. Once we get a good 10 in, we'll really, really get a good idea of how good everyone is. And as well, have some fun while we do it.
Absolutely, says Dom. Yeah, Dom. Get into our group.
I'm here for a long time when it comes to my picks. Yeah, I'm not that guy who gets 10 out of 10 and I'm finished, I'm done. I'm just going to get 7, 8 out of 10 every week, and that's just how you build up that record, Hopefully, John will be on the app, and you guys should know John often gets 0 on nights. So, no matter how bad you do, you'll always be able to check out John Honko's picks. So you'll always be doing better than him.
Yeah, we better watch out if Jasmine joins up. She went on a phenomenal tear at the end of last year, I think, unbeaten in a few events. So maybe I'm kind of scared. Should we not tell her, Chris? I don't want to get my ass handed to me.
Yeah, that's it. We'll tell her once the card started, so she misses out on the first few fights.
Yeah, they should have the One Championship fights for next week. We'll be doing a full preview of that as well, won't we, Chris? And
yeah, it's going to be, guys, it's going to be a really busy couple of weeks because we're going to have more interviews nonstop with John and Nick. And we've got a post-fight podcast reviewing all of Sunday's action. We'll have a preview on, I think, Monday or Tuesday to preview the UFC midweek. We'll have a post-fight to that event. And we will have a preview for One Championship. As well as the big UFC next weekend. So you're gonna have 3 more preview shows, 3 more post-fight shows, and a hell of a lot of interviews by Nick, John, and Whitelaw and the rest of the team at SCMP MMA.
Yeah, I don't know who I've got lined up.
And I hope you have liked and subscribed to this channel. Share it with all your friends and all your followers. Please, every little bit helps.
Yeah, let me switch that banner over. Remember to like and subscribe. If you've got any questions now, please put them in the comment box quickly and maybe we can get to some. Otherwise, Chris, it's Thursday. You know what that means. It's Wings night.
It's Wings night.
Are you doing it? Are you doing Wings night?
I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50. I need to check with the girlfriend.
Okay. You let me know. It's always hard to turn down $3 wings. That's not $3 US. That's $3 Hong Kong chicken wings, and that's very cheap, basically.
American, something like that. About 29 pence sterling. If you're Prince of Her Majesty.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, we already had John's show this morning, so why don't we wrap it up there? We'll let Chris get back to his normal life.
I think we might. I think we might do a new show maybe tomorrow or something like that. Who knows? Because it's been a bit of a slow week. The only big news I saw of the last few hours really was that Pat Miletich has lost his job with the LFA after posting pictures of himself attending the riot. I don't know what you call it at the Capitol in Washington. Apart from that, it's been the last day or two. It's been a bit slow, and you guys had a new show up on Monday and Tuesday with Riggs and a media show this morning. So most has been covered. I feel bad.
We'll do something tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have a little chat.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, maybe. Let us know what time is good for you. I think maybe, Chris, we should do these either a bit earlier or a bit later. I think we're in the dead zone now where no one is actually online. And
Yeah,
obviously we want to have as many people here interacting with us. Oh, look, one question here. Andrew, are you boys from the UK? Chris sounds like it's a Scouser lad. Darren Till's next door neighbor, our kid. Yes.
yes, I am.
Chris is indeed from the worst place on earth, Liverpool.
The home of champions. We're technically still world champions because they haven't held it this year, so we keep it for another year, I guess.
Oh god. Well, the Liverpool no longer top of the Premier League, so that's something.
We'll wait until Saturday. We'll be top again.
Yeah. Okay. I'm also from the UK as well. We got. Go. Sorry, Chris.
Story was how long ago must it be now? I think one of the first MMA events we both went to was Bisping Dan Henderson in Manchester.
But we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other. No. There all those years ago, and now we're on the other side, and we became friends and found a love of MMA over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was meant to go to UFC Shenzhen with you to see Zhang Weili become the champ, but the protests kind of put paid to that in Hong Kong. So it was a bit risky to go over the border. I mean, Chris, you had to get another phone, didn't you? It was
I got another phone because there was rumors of even if you had text messages or pictures sent to you, you could be in for a bit of a nasty time.
Yeah, and SCMP were pretty cautious with me. We decided it may not be the best idea to go. Hopefully, I can go back into China to see the Performance Institute. I'd really like to check it out, especially if they get Dana White's Contender Series Asia going again. We'll hopefully be there on the ground. If I'm not, someone else will be. But it is a little bit tough sometimes when you are a journalist.
Yeah, and it is increasing. Like we may have a big event soon in China because there's a lot of talk of Dana really wants Zhang Weili to defend the title in China.
Yeah, so Dana said that he wants Weili either against Rose or Carla Esparza in Asia, but I don't think it's China. From what I heard, it's Singapore where they're going to do this, which kind of makes sense, I guess. I think one championship has showed that you can put on events safely in Singapore. Dom Lau will tell you in the comments. He's been over there back end of last year. He did all the quarantine there. They put on the events, a bunch of events very safely. So maybe UFC is thinking, hey, that's another place we can do some shows. If it's been proven, Chris, that they can put them on, why not?
Advertisements for the Contender Series Asia. It does make me think, because originally I heard that was going to be out of the Performance Institute. But I wouldn't be surprised as well if they're going to move the event to Singapore. If we see the Contender Series maybe have 1 or 2 bases or even 3 over Asia, because it is such a large places. You could have a base theoretically, one in Australia or Singapore, Tokyo, and Shanghai.
Last I heard on Contender Series Asia was there is no update. It's indefinitely on hold. I think they want to do it.
Trailer recently.
What's that?
They released a trailer.
Did they? Oh,
yeah. They released a trailer online. So it just says coming soon, but it says Dana White's Contender Series Asia.
All right, let me check that out. Maybe I'm talking rubbish again, Chris. I tend to do that sometimes.
No, you're usually on the ball.
I'll type that one in. Well, yeah, I'd love to see it, but I think I'd like it to be at the Performance Institute. That would really, I think, show off. I mean, you spent all that money. How much was it, Chris? It was something 130 million. Or,
yeah, and as well, the government have helped them. The government put in a lot of funding as well. The government will want to see some return on that asset. It's actually got official Olympic credentials of the Chinese Olympic Association, which is fantastic. So they really need to put that to good use. Even one of the issues with operating in China is, the Performance Institute there doesn't really have a official Instagram account and all the Twitter stuff that they're doing at Las Vegas. But I think they really need to push that so we can get to know those fighters a little bit more. Because I'll tell you what, some of the fighters there are fantastic. And in particular, the women, I bang on about it all the time. Sander, it's like Sambo, it's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil. It just seems to be one of those sports where it has a really good pyramid and it can just breed champions. And all they really have to do is get those guys to go from Sander, add a bit of wrestling, take down the fence, and they've got a line of very, very, very capable fighters.
All right. Why don't we leave it there? Andrew saying, thanks for the show, lads. Tune in tomorrow. Keep up the great work as always. Oh, that's too kind of you to say. I don't think we can say that we are better than Showtime or ESPN. We aspire to be on that level, don't we, Chris? There's a lot of expansion. You know my plans. I've been boring you to death for 2 years about what I want to do with this whole SCMP MMA thing. We are barely scratching the surface. Believe me. This thing with Fanatics, we're hoping this can take us and them to the next level. So it's so important, guys. One more time, Chris, what should they do?
Like and subscribe to SCMP MMA right here on YouTube. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and we've got our tags down below. If you want to follow any of us individually and hear to what we have to say, we try and speak no nonsense and just give you the facts all the time. And as well, don't forget our great friends at MMA Fanatics. Check out the link down below in the description. Check out the link. Download the app. Pick statistics, leagues. It's pretty much a combination of fantasy statistics. It's even got some betting statistics, the Vegas odds, and it pretty much combines all them into one app.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Chris. Thank you for joining me once again. This has been Nick and Chris on the Post-Fight Podcast, SCMP MMA. We're out. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Peace.